Okay, so this is going to be a little bit more of a complicated pattern. This is going to be for a backpack, and it's going to be using a lot of the same leaf themes that I have with a lot of my other patterns that I sell. This is going to have one large main bag area, backpack area, with two pockets on the front, and it's going to have a lot of these leaf themes here going on throughout the bag. So yeah, let me just go walk you through a lot of this stuff. Like this right here is going to be the handle that's going to go on the top. Aside from the shoulder straps, there'll be the ability to, the handle to grab it by the handle. So there's that, and here's some of the pockets. So the pocket front anyway, there'll be a gusset, of course, but this is going to be the flap that comes over the top of the two pockets. There's the main flap that comes over the main body area. And again, leaf design. Okay, so if you're not all about the leaf design and the forest elf, woodland elf theme that I have going on, then maybe it's not for you. But I think it's going to turn out really nice, like some of my other pieces. So again, top flap. Here's one of the pockets, some of the keepers, and I'll get to these. This is right here is the main body, the base. So, and this big piece here is going to be wrapped around. And I'll get to all this stuff real quick, but I wanted to show you some of the main pieces, and be sure that when you're cutting this out and putting it together, I have them labeled, like this one's 5A and 5B. Make sure you match up the icons, the little scissor icons. I also have just some notes here on how many holes, so that, for example, this back piece here has 48 holes. And the back body, which is what this is here, down here you'll see has 48 holes, and has a little marker for the center line. Same thing as here, has a center line, so you know how things line up. And I'll be, when I'm cutting these out, and after I have the leather, I'll be measuring things, and maybe even if I can find a white chalk pencil or something like that, so I can just leave a little mark before I start to stitch, so I know where the center line is, especially on this big round piece. The center line is going to be important to keep track of. So bottom, here's the back piece, and it even says, I have them labeled here, back, along with the different quadrants. Some of the things I have just a light outline, so you know what the placement of the different items are. Like I showed you the little handle earlier, just a second ago, if I can get it. Yeah, this right here. So these little outlines just show placement for this. Okay, and then those other two straps shows outlines for that. Okay, and again, I'll go through all these things later as I start building them. Here's the gussets for the pockets, base, and then the main front piece, like it says, front, and it's all labeled. Here's where the pockets are going to go for the front, or the gussets are going to go. But first, let's get everything cut out and holes punched, so we can start getting to how to put it together. The grommet holes, just for reference, are quarter inch grommets. I'm going to use the antique brass like I usually do on these a lot of my pieces. So let's get to it and start cutting things out. All right, be right back. In case you're wondering, this is the leather I'm going to be using. It's a nice brown, has some nice pull up there, some character to it, but it's not too thick, which is what I'm going for. Medium to soft temper, but for the body, I think this is going to be nice and it's going to go well with the green leaves and the other green green leather that I'm going to be using. Let me see if I can find what kind of leather this is. Hold on a second. Well, I couldn't find the name of the leather, but it according to one of the stickers on here, it says it's 4 to 5 ounce, but it's really not. This is more of like a 3 to 4 ounce. Definitely not 5, for sure. But yeah, I'm gonna start cutting out pieces here, and start getting stuff cut out. Okay, be right back. Hey everybody. So just to show you some progress here, I got the main body all cut out, holes punched. Like I mentioned before, these little marks here, I found like a white pencil. I was able to just make little marks, so I remember where the center line is. These are the pockets that are going to be going on the front, and here's the gussets for those pockets. And I know these look small for what I actually made, so I'll fix that in the pattern. These are going to be 2-inch wide gussets. You can kind of see that right there as I measure here on the table. 2-inch wide gussets, same length, same number of holes, but I was looking at these right here. Those are really small pockets. So I wanted to do something a little bit more useful as pockets go anyway. Let me pull these out of the way and show you kind of the larger piece here without the pattern. Okay, so your main piece, yeah, folding these over a little bit, working them makes it easier when you're going to sew these to the gussets. So that's why there's some pull up there going on. I was working it. So anyway, that's there. This one goes here. The back side, here's the back, and where the stuff goes here. Got all that punched out. Also got the little line here to measure, to make sure I know where the center line is. This piece here is going to have this reinforcement. It's going to have a leaf handle, and then it's going to have this right here. It goes there, and it's going to have a nice O-ring, and the O-ring is where you're going to attach the shoulder straps. Okay, so that's there, and then on the inside, I'm going to be having this little loop here, matches up with the same holes, and this is just going to be hold a like a key ring holder, so someplace where you can hang your keys from or attach your keys to quickly without having to like dig into the bag. It's just a little thing here that I wanted to, as just a little thing that you can do. You don't have to do this, of course, but that's what that is. If you're wondering what that piece is, it's going to line up with those same holes, but on the inside. Okay, so this is the back piece here, and then you got the bottom one piece also cut out. Here's the little lines for this, marking the center lines that match up with these two here. So what I'm going to do first, obviously I need to finish cutting out the leaves and the leaf pockets and the leaf flaps and all the leaf stuff. So I need to do that first. But first would be getting the gussets on the pockets. So I'll sew these first. Once I have both of these done, then I'll sew them to this main panel. Sew them to the main panel. And I won't do the flap yet, just because I'm going to eventually, once I have this stuff done, and the grommets placed and whatnot, and then also some of this stuff here sewn, I'm going to sew this to this, and then eventually, once this is one big piece, it's going to be turned inside out. I believe. I think that's how it's going to go. It's going to be inside out, to sew this inside out, and then flip it. so that it has the stitching on the inside. That's the plan for now. If that changes, I could also stitch this on the outside like that, and have the bag stitched like that instead of like a tote inside out. That might not look too bad either, but I'll get back to that once I make a decision. You'll see. But first, punch out the leaf stuff, and then also get the gussets sewn here and here, and then the pockets sewn to this main body. Okay, I'm going to do that, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I wanted to give you an update of kind of where I'm at with this. So first, these little keepers here that are going to be for the enclosure for the buttons that go up here. Yeah, that's kind of the direction I'm heading, and you'll notice that in the pattern that similar to one of my previous the leaf backpack. I put a coconut button on the leaf and then use the strap here to pull it tight and close it. I'm going to do the same thing with this one, just keeping that natural look to this backpack. But as far as order of operations go, I stitched this piece here to the front first, and then the same thing with this one, which I have just kind of sitting here, and then also here on the main flap. That way, I'm not trying to do this after I've done everything else and everything kind of gets in the way, and then trying to do this after the pockets in place. You know, trying to stitch like that inside, it's much harder. So I'm gonna do these first, and you'll notice, if I can get this on the camera really well, this little tab here, the stitching holes are on the far right and the far left are slightly more inward on the base. You know, so the piece underneath, the piece on top, if you want to look at it that way, this stitching line and this stitch line are a little bit wider, you know, left and right, wider than what's underneath. That way, when you go to stitch it, it creates this little space here for the lace to go in. Okay, so if I were to stitch it completely flat, trying to get this lace in here would be harder, and especially if you're using a thicker lace than what I am, trying to force that in between here, it's a pain in the butt. So this gives you a little bit more flexibility as far as you know, using the lace. You can use different widths or different thicknesses, you know, to loop that through. So I wanted to show that. The other thing, I got the leaves. You're going to stitch them upside down, you know, facing this way, so that they fold over. And if I put this here, like that, more or less where it's going to go, this is going to come over like this, and I'm going to have, you'll see there are holes in the pattern for the button, which will go around here, and then you pull them tight, okay, to keep this closed. But I wanted to kind of show you just kind of where it was at the moment. I'm going to go ahead and finish stitching this right here to the gusset, and then once that's done, I'll sew the gusset to the main body here, and then the same thing with this one. Here's the main body, and here's the line for that, and it's going to go flat like that. That's how you're going to be sewing it, not under where it's folded like that. If I can show you closer, yeah. So you're going to be folding it. You're going to be stitching it flat against the body, not folded like this. Okay, it's not going to be going inward. just flat like that. Okay, similar to how this one's flat. So they're just flat, and you just curve around. Same thing. And if you need to work that body or work some of that leather a little bit, depending on how stiff yours is, just working a little bit like that, folding it so that the crease is there, will make it easier once you're ready to actually start the stitching like that. You can see that. So that fold, that crease is there, it's easier. Okay, so I'm gonna get these finished, the gussets, the pockets stitched to the main body, and then I'll come back and we'll talk about this other, the back piece and how that attaches to the body and the base, the bottom. Okay, be back in a minute. Okay, so I just wanted to show you the progress on these. I got the 2 pockets done, and here they are. You can see stitched it, like I said, flat against the body here, the same way here, just all the way around. And I use those stitch keepers, the little metal ones. If I have some here we go. Yeah, like I said before, these things are great for keeping things in place as you stitch around and keeping track of holes. So that's why I used, and I'll show you here in a second as well, another use. So yeah, those are in place. This right here is just a temporary, holds the shape of these. I'll actually be using a bigger lace because the flap that comes over is a lot bigger. So don't worry about the size on that one. Okay, so next, here's the back side, the back piece. And I went ahead and I stitched this piece down. There's a right side up because there's angled, these holes here on this, the left and right side are angled inward because you want this piece here to lie a certain way as a handle. So instead of straight up and down, they're angled slightly like that, and so you want them to angle slightly inward. Okay, and that one shows us straight up and down. So I'm going to go ahead and, just because of ease of sewing things and riveting stuff together, I'm going to sew the flap here first. I think with this in place and the O-ring here in the middle, with all this stuff, it'll probably be harder. I mean, if you can imagine like that, trying to sew with all this stuff in place, right? So I'm going to sew this first, and then I'll get these in place. Maybe do the rivets here first, and then also I have the bottom pieces that go down here for the backpack straps. Okay, and right now I just have some rivets holding them together, just to make sure that they line up correctly, right? Okay, so let me do this first, and then get this upper pieces and the 2 bottom pieces riveted. It's fairly straightforward. I mean, once you do that. So, but as far as the order of operations, yeah, let's do this flap first. Okay, be right back. Okay, so real quick, just to go over what I just said, I got these riveted down, and I went ahead and used an extra piece of leather just as reinforcement to make sure that this thing is nice and tight in there. So I used this piece here as a template for these two right here, so that I know that the rivet holes are going to fit. So I cut it down, a lot smaller than these. Anyway, just something I thought last minute might need, just because of the leather. I don't think it's going to tear if you just have this, but I wanted to reinforce it almost like a washer, right? So imagine these are like leather washers almost. anyway, I got those put on. I got the rivets placed here. I got the handle placed with the rivets here. Sorry, grommets, rivets. I got the main larger D-ring for the shoulder straps riveted down, and then on the inside, this is what I was talking about. With the same rivets, I put this on here just as like a key ring holder. So if you can imagine, you know, this enclosed, and you open this up, and you wanted to attach or clip your keys someplace so that it's not in the bottom of your bag, you know, or clip something else here, you know, some type of bag or pouch or something else that you need quickly. It would go right there. You know, just clip onto it, easy. Anyway, I thought it'd be a nice little touch. So this is ready. What I'm going to do is show you how I'm going to start this with the main body here. So main body here, right? Here's the back. So I'm going to start stitching this with the main body over the back. Okay, so like that. Well, like that. And there's, it looks like there's still a few holes I need to repunch that didn't get completely punched through. But, and here too. But that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to start with this one. Oh, I also got the grommets up here on this body too. So I got the grommets done. But I'm going to stitch the main body over the top of the back. And then when the time comes, when flipping this around, I'm going to be doing the same thing on the other side. I'm just going to flip it around and stitch, you know, the main body over the back. Okay, and then the bottom is also going to go over and over here. Okay, so I'm going to start off with, well, I need to clean up some of these holes first, but then I will stitch this right here. Okay, so that is the next. Oh gosh, what is that? Oh, D-ring. Okay, so that is the next thing I'm gonna do. Okay, be right back. Okay, so just to show you the progress here, I got the back sewn. Like I said, this is good. The front's gonna go over the top, just like that for the back side, and same thing here. So that overlap, just one there. And then also, just because I like to do this, I go over the top. That last hole, I go over the top just to reinforce that stitch. Right there. See that? So I just go over and then come back down. Okay. So this is in place. And remember at the beginning, I showed you guys, if I can find it. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so these little marks right here, I think I showed you in the beginning, these are the center line, and I just marked it with a white pencil, just a white marking pencil. So I marked that one on the back, and then on the front, I marked it here as well. So these are the center lines, right? So this next step, what I'm going to be doing is putting the base on, and the base is right here. So this is the back side, this is the back, this is the front, and you see that I've already marked these as well, the center line and the center line here. So I'll have to, like, after I'm done sewing these, I will have to kind of rub that out and get rid of it. But for now, this is going to line up. Oop, nope. It's going to line up right there. So those two get lined up there. I'm actually probably going to start on the back side just so it has a nice flat surface to start with. I'm going to start with the back so it has a nice surface, nice just straight surface to start with. And there's that line up, and this line, this hole, this one in the corner, sorry. So this one in the corner should line up with this one here. Okay, and the same thing, this one here the corner, before it starts the curve, should line up with this one right here, the last hole of the overlapped section. Okay, so that last one, it's going to go over. You're going to have to be going through, you know, a few layers, just like that. Okay, if you can see that. But I'm going to go ahead and start getting some of these stitch keepers in place, lining it up, so that I know I have my count of holes correct. Okay, so I'm going to do that first, and then I'm going to sew this bottom straight across before I flip it around and start working on that big curve. Okay, be right back. Okay, so just a quick progress. Here's that back piece sewn down, lined it up with the mark that I made. Just need to kind of rub off. Maybe I can, yeah, you can get that off. Anyway, so that's placed. I went ahead and turned it over and put a stitch keeper right there next to that mark, so that I know that this is lined up, the center line is lined up. So I'm going to go ahead and put some more of these on one side, that way I can use my hand on the inside of this as I sew it together, and then this other half I'll just have to work from the inside of the bag to sew it closed. Okay, so I'm going to do that now, and I'll be back here in a second. Okay, so I got the bottom done there. So I started off here, and then I just worked my way around. There's the little center mark that I marked earlier. But yeah, it came out nice. The one thing I would recommend, watching as you're doing this, I wasn't that good at it, I guess, apparently. Depending on how soft the temper is on this, if you pull too tight, it will bunch up. You know, the leather will kind of bunch together. So make sure that when you are tightening the sewing in your saddle stitch, make sure you do it with consistent tension, so that it's a consistently, you know, the sewing and the bunching and the curve is consistent. Otherwise, you get like this right here, where it bunched up a little bit more, and so it pulls it a little tighter, and will kind of give it that look, bunched up look. Anyway, you know, same thing kind of like right here. If the tension on each hole is different, then you get this bunching up of leather. When it's, you know, soft temper like this, and it'll bunch up. Okay, so let me pull this up here. With that done, I just need to get some buttons here, the coconut buttons, so that I can lace those down, strap those down. I need to get a bigger piece here for the flap. Here is, let me see if I can zoom out a little bit. Here's the flap, or let me see if I can zoom out anymore. Here we go. So here's the top, and I just, the backside, put some lacing. This is quarter inch lacing that I got from Tandy. Where'd it go? Here we go. So this is just a Kodiak lace. It's quarter inch width. This is like the caramel color, yeah. So I just put a couple of knots here, laced it through the other grommets, and then you know, tied a little, just a knot here in the front. And so you can pull this tighter if you want. Right now I just have it loosely tied, because I still need to put the button here, and get some longer lace so I can strap it up and down to secure it. So I'm going to go get, I'm not sure where I find it. Oh, Amazon probably has some, but yeah, some buttons for here and the 2 pockets on the side, and then the lace. And then I will take some better pictures and see if I can get someone to model this for me. Okay, I will be right back. Hey everybody. So I wanted to show you the straps here. The bottom strap is going to go right down here. It is just a very small, simple buckle and clasp holder. And then the main strap, I think this is pretty cool, is going to be part leaf, and then it gets sewn into this longer strap. Make sure you measure this piece with the holes where it buckles up before you cut everything. I usually will cut this piece quite a bit longer first, and then with this, with the buckle, kind of measure where it's at while semi-wearing it. You know, trying to wear it and see kind of where it fits right before I make the final cut. So be sure you do that. In the pattern, you'll have this piece, and this little buckle piece here. So be looking out for those. This one is two-sided, so if you, well, I made it two-sided, so that if you wanted to wear, you know, use the brown or the green, I'm gonna use the green up, just because it kind of looks cool, like a leaf. But yeah, let me okay, you know, here it is put together. Let me put this on the backpack and show you how it looks. Hold on a second. Okay, so here it is. They're going to clasp, both of them are going to clasp to the main center D-ring, and they're going to go over the shoulders. And I already tried this on, and it comes over my shoulders, and you know I'm a big guy, so this fits really well. But yeah, like I said, measure before you cut stuff. And it sits on the backpack similarly, and then on the bottom you have the clasps right here that are at an angle like that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and the last thing I need to do, I need to put the little clasps on the flaps here, and I found some really cool buttons at Hobby Lobby, and these are coconut shells as well, so it's nice and environmentally conscious. I got a big one for the main flap and 2 smaller ones for the small flaps. So I need to get those put on, and then I'll be done. And I'll show you that here in a little bit. Hold on. Okay, so here's the buttons. Here's the large button here, and I just used some thin lace to tie this into the main piece. Since it was a little bit larger, I thought thread would work. Still, you know, tying it, sewing it to the main body like I did these. If I could pull it up here. Yeah, so I just sewed these in and used what is this, 5/32 lace here to use. I think I showed it earlier, but yeah, there's the button. There's the big button here, and then here's the other one on the side. So sorry about that, a little bit awkward just getting this one-handed here. So yeah, coconut buttons there. If you wanted to actually put you know, cut a slot into the flap there and use it as traditional buttons instead of the lace and these pieces, that's totally easy to do as well. I just thought that with this temper of leather, trying to fit these buttons in and out might be more problematic than functional. But with a softer temper, I'm sure the buttons would totally work. You know, with a, you know, cut a hole or cut a slot in the middle, like a traditional button with fabric. It would probably work better. So I'm going to, yeah, this is looking good. I'm really liking this. I'm really liking the straps here on the back. all the little leaf elements, leaf motif going on here. I think it came out really nice, but I need to get somebody to model it. Oh, let me open it up and show you the opened real quick. Hold on. I can't remember if I showed you this, but here it is. Yeah, this lace is pretty long. This is 1/4 inch lace to go along with those 1/4 inch grommets. But yeah, this is with it opened, flap open, and then flap closed. Okay, let me get some better pictures of this thing. Okay, we're back.